Our first guest has a career that spans 28 years in the automotive and tech sector, including leadership roles at Flex Automotive, Kia, as well as Ford. Now, he's behind the wheel at Microsoft, driving the company into the metaverse and aiming to revolutionize the experience of buying cars. Joining us now is Henry Bzeih. He's the Global Chief Strategy Officer of Mobility at Microsoft. Henry, thanks for racing on down. I know you just completed a panel. This place is a labyrinth to navigate, but I am very curious. I did see the Microsoft booth. What is Microsoft doing in the metaverse?
Well, totally showing the metaverse. I mean, from a exhibition perspective, we're trying to focus on mobility cross-functionally. Obviously, when we talk about the whole customer experience, you have to factor in the metaverse, right? Transforming that experience from its traditional way of communicating with customers into a new digital way, virtual way.
Well, I know that Microsoft at CES unveiled the virtual car showroom.
Yeah.
So what exactly is that?
So basically take an example of the work we're doing with Fiat, which is the ability for any given customer to reconfigure or configure the Fiat 500e, for example. Colors, features, functions, and so forth.
You mean you can choose the options yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a cool way of interacting with customers these days, and it's an expectation, I think. You know, if you think about it in terms of how customers today utilize a digital life in every aspect, this is a natural progression.
So you can actually go in there and choose your options and kind of look at it before creating it. What about the security of the whole notion of zero trust?
Well, so everything we do comes with end-to-end security. So we make sure that the protections are there. Microsoft is renowned for its security products that we have, from the Microsoft Office all the way to our cloud. And so we definitely take that as a #1 priority at any interaction that we do.
All right. You're also looking at opportunities in autonomous vehicles and electrification. What's going on there?
Exactly. So as you know, CASE, which stands for connectivity, automation, electrification, and mobility, shared mobility, Microsoft is sitting behind the scenes in an enablement mode. And so what we do is create that edge to cloud product and solution areas for our customers, so we don't compete with them. We don't really create products to compete with our suppliers and OEMs, which is the original equipment manufacturers. And so what we do is we work closely with them on enablement. And so we create the capabilities for data, for AI, for machine learning, for a cloud hosting environment, for simulation, and the various product development aspects that they need in their delivery of these products.
All right, so when you're creating your showroom, is it a centralized, closed environment, if you will, or are you also looking at decentralized platforms?
Well, so we are definitely not just focused on a closed ecosystem. We are big supporters of the open ecosystem. So we embrace open, and we embrace more a collaborative model.
Are there certain platforms you're thinking of in particular?
So the platforms essentially are built on Microsoft Azure.
Okay.
And so Azure and all the different parts of our Microsoft offerings provide that platform for customers to use and leverage to deliver these solutions. Yeah.
So bringing it to the customer, like when will it become real for them, buying cars in the metaverse? How does that become accessible, and what will that experience look like?
Great question. So we're starting to see deployments. So Fiat is one of our first customers that are doing this, along with TouchCast, which is a company that we partner with to do this. But honestly, globally, like in China is already there. China is already there. So there are definitely places in the world in which this is actually happening. And North America, and it's going to be, getting there. It's not quite as fast as other countries. And a lot of it has to do with dealership buy-in into this, right? So anytime you involve the dealer body in North America, you're dealing with independent franchise owners who have their own ideas of how we want to do things. So it's not as easy or seamless sometimes.
So are they going into a virtual VR generated showroom, or they're going to a physical showroom and it's augmented reality and they're buying
I think that's the key, right? I mean, how do you, so these business people have invested millions of dollars in these places, to walk away from that and make the whole experience, not there. It just doesn't make any sense for them, right? So it has to be a hybrid model.
Okay.
Imagine yourself going to the dealership. Let me give you a use case. And instead of walking the lot to look at the different colors or having the salesperson bring you the different vehicles and finding them and all that, imagine going to a showroom in which everything can be done virtually. Color scheming, how the car looks, experience even the interior of it without even having to step outside.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Sorry?
You have to drive the car too, though.
You can. Some folks would like, I got to drive the car. So absolutely.
Well, how do you do that in a virtual metaverse?
You can do it. You can do it. Although ultimately, some folks want to see the real thing, right? So.
Yeah. Okay. And do you think you see a world where cryptocurrencies will be used to purchase cars?
This is a very interesting topic because the whole notion of Web3 and its relevance to the metaverse is hugely debated in terms of the intersection of Web3, mixed reality, the X reality, and the metaverse platforms coming together to create this environment. We will see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see a world where virtual car showrooms will replace the physical ones?
It depends. So in North America, it'd be hard for me to see that happening. I see a hybrid model in North America. I see faster deployment in countries like China because they are in a different path in terms of where they are. In Europe, I would see also the same thing because space is limited in Europe.
And just one last question before we wrap, but are there other, we're talking about cars, are there other ways Microsoft is looking to enter crypto, blockchain, the metaverse, Web3, et cetera?
The whole interaction or embracing of blockchain, we see that in our industry, like supply chain. Blockchain is providing quite a bit of transparency, efficiency, and reducing some of the supply chain challenges that we've had. So there are definitely areas in which that could happen. So in terms of the future, you never say never, but certainly it is something to think about.